The parents of Gabby Petito, the 22-year-old whose fiancé Brian Laundrie killed her while they were on a road trip in 2021, have reached a settlement. His family and their attorney in a lawsuit they filed against them. So, now there'll be no civil trial. Gabby's body was found on September 19th in Wyoming, and an autopsy revealed she was strangled. The remains of Brian Laundrie were found a month later inside a reserve in Florida. He had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He admitted to killing her in a notebook that he'd been writing in was found at the scene. Just 2 weeks before Gabby was last seen alive, the couple was pulled over after witnesses reported seeing Laundrie hit her.
Did he hit you, though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, and then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you.
Because, you know... I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be
honest.
honest.
He, grabbed my face, just like this.
What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like her own little website blog and everything, so I give her time, and we really had a nice morning if anything, but she just, because we were trying to get going and get our day going because we want to go like archery or something like that.
Okay. You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had a cell phone in her hand, that's why I was pushing her away.
So you pushed her and she hit you?
It wasn't like a push and she jumped on me, she was already, I don't know what, she was already swinging, and I was a lot of angles, a lot of nails, a lot of rings.
And it's been revealed in new court documents that 2 weeks after that traffic stop, Laundrie had, quote, frantic conversations with his parents, saying things like, Gabby's gone. He didn't know what to do. He said, you know, can you help me? You know, I might need a lawyer, you know. Back with me, attorneys Misty Marris, Jesse Weber, and Brian Buckmire. All right, so from a practical perspective, what do you think, Jesse Weber, they actually settled for?
It's a tough question. My understanding is they were suing for about $30,000 worth of damages. It never felt like the money to me in this case.
Right.
It always felt to me that they had to take it to trial to prove that the Laundries knew what had happened.
And the parents
knew what happened. They didn't tell them. And I thought they wanted that on a public stage. So I wonder, did they get some sort of admission from the parents? Did they get some sort of apology? And
in private, though.
In private? And I just, would that be enough there? I'm not sure really what it could be. I was racking my brain about it. It doesn't feel like it's the money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got to be enough because they settled, but it's nothing in public. We don't know if they got an apology. We don't know if they got the catharsis they were looking for in terms of what did Brian Laundrie tell his parents. I have to imagine it's a $30,000 lawsuit. You're not going to get a lot of money from this family to begin with.
Well, and there was a previous lawsuit, right, that was brought, a $3 million lawsuit that was brought against Brian Laundrie's estate, right, where they won, right? The family won. But he's got like $20,000 or something, right?
Right.
So this can't be about the money.
I don't think this was ever about the money. But remember, if you go to trial, you're going to relive a lot of what happened. And that's the motivation for a lot of people to settle. I agree with you, Jesse. I think originally it was to hold someone accountable. But as time goes on and you realize what's going to come in a trial, I doubt there's much money involved, but there could be non-monetary concessions, Dan. Like we were talking about apologies, maybe information. Even if it's behind closed doors, the idea is to get closure.
But let's also remember, this was not an easy legal case. I mean, you know, the idea that they would be held responsible for intentional infliction of emotional distress is not easy legally.
And they raised a number of questions that silence is not something that we should be sued over.
Right.
They raised First Amendment issues. I think it would have been a complicated case. It might have been tough to convince a jury. And obviously, as Misty said, you know, trials are complicated and emotional.
And there's legal expenses.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, I just think in the end, it may be as simple as the Petito family had already won the civil lawsuit against Brian Laundrie. It's clear he did it now. We kind of know what happened here. And I think they may have realized as a legal matter, this isn't going to be an easy case. It's going to cost us quite a significant amount of money, and we may not get any more closure.
I think it came down to legal fees for the most part.
Right.
It's just like, you're spending a lot of money, Laundries. We Petitos are spending a lot of money. What are we going to get out of this once all the attorneys get paid? And is it worth it at the end of the day?
And remember, this is a mediation. So there's a mediator there. And they're not only talking about the merits of the legal case, they're talking about all of those practical aspects of what it means to go through
And by the way, they already got a lot of bad information out about them. The burn after reading letter. I mean, the fact that that has been made public, they don't need to convince a jury. They've already convinced the public. They already know a lot about what happened there.
Maybe they just agreed, I don't know, to pay the legal fees, right? Maybe they could have just said, you know what? We'll cover the legal fees you've paid, and let's just end this thing. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah,
Because everything has been kept quiet. Everyone's sticking around.